that we get, sometimes when we get older, we get senile. All right? That's because, when we eat a certain way, when we have certain types of thought processes that we deal with, and we are not able to deal with our self-esteem, shit happens to our brain. It begins to eat away. When tragedy happens in our family, shit eats away at it, you see? So I want to kind of just touch upon it and see right now that we're going to see the evidence of senility and kind of insanity creeping in. Cosby rips black men who harm their wives. Okay, now, we ain't heard shit from Bill Cosby since God was a boy. We know that Cosby's biggest role, besides being I Spy and giving his name, his password as his mother's maiden name, and what was his mother's maiden name? Did you see I Spy 2? Did you know there was hello, people. Hello, 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 hello. Anybody ever heard of I Spy? Yes. Did you know that there was a movie when they returned together as middle-aged spies called I Spy 2? Did you see about that? Did you see that the agency was hidden in a place called what? Huh? Oh, you didn't see it? Okay. It was pest control. That's where their headquarters were. Their secret headquarters was in a place for pest control. When you went in, you had to punch in your name, and he didn't want to give his name. He said, well, what's your name? He said, oh, I don't want to give my name. He said, well, just put your fingerprint up. He said, then the machine gave him back his name. And he said, okay, you got your name. Now, what's your password? And he didn't want to give his password. He said, what's your password? And his boy said, go ahead, give it to them. He put his hand in there and said, Boulay, your mother's maiden name. He said, what's your mother's maiden name? He said, Boulay. Okay? That's Cosby. All right? Now, Bill Cosby, what was the character that he played that made him his multi-millions and millions of dollars? Dr. what? Huxtable. Dr. what? Heathcliff Huxtable. But what did they call him for short? Cliff. Now, I want you to understand how we as black folks got the royal fisting psychologically on this one. What's his name? No. Cliff Huxtable. All right, let me show you. For 5 years, the Cosby Show was #1. Why? Right? But why was Cosby Show #1 for 5 years? One. You're not getting to it. What did I say at the beginning was the reason for everything today? Money. All right? Why was the Cosby Show the #1 show for 5 years? It had the most sales per advertisements for Jell-O and all the rest of them. He was doing Jell-O, Kodak, everything. What is the colloquial name for someone who has the utmost success for pushing products and sales? A fucking huckster. Now we got him on the other side, Huxtable. But then you go to his first name. What is it? Cliff. Now, what's a cliff? Very high ledge, a peak. What usually lives on ledges and peaks? Goats. So taking the name as an anagram, not even an anagram, but as a what's that English word? Analog meaning. Cliff Huxtable, Bill Cosby, was playing for 5 years. He made $500 million for NBC 1 year. $500 million Bill Cosby made with the Cosby Show. He was the high huckster. He sold the most. He was the pusher of at least 10 different products. What was his wife's name? Claire. She was the clear one. She was the one who was the lawyer. She was the intelligent one. He was the imbecile, and did not make any bones about showing you how stupid he was. And he's a doctor. I wouldn't have him delivering none of my children. But the words Cliff and Claire were not accidents. They were playing on your brain when he called himself a huckster in front of your face and sold you the products of his white masters. You see, you're not listening and looking at what's going on around you. You're not listening to how they're programming you. What's some of the new popular shit going on around there for black folks again? What's some of the new popular ones? Shows. Black ones? My Wife and Kids. By who? No. It's by who? Who produced it? Method and Redman Show. Okay, a couple of imbeciles up in white suburbia. Come on. The Hooglies, the Uglies. Does he have a black friend? The Parkers. Hey. Imbecile television. Low IQ television. All to sell you. Right? Put that You Pick a Nigga network and the WB. Those are the only two you got. Huh? But NBC had Cosby. Cosby got on his high horse and said, I'm going to buy this motherfucker. What? A year later, his son got killed? No, you don't. Boy, don't you come off that plantation, back in the field. See, you were in the house for a while. Get your ass back in the field. How do you get the fuck back in the house? How do you get back in the house? Yeah. No, you just come out there and start trashing your people in public. Now you're going to have a show based on your book about fatherhood. Because you're America's favorite dad. Well, if he was America's favorite dad, wouldn't have his son been loved as well? Was it because you were dating that white woman that they drove after you and killed you? They didn't tell you about that. Was it because, well, we're not going to get into that. Let's just look at what he said. This is perfect, you know. You have Corky Simazko. These are the people reporting on the people who talk about us. And you have Bill Cosby, right? Check him out now. Bill Cosby is stating his claim. But look at the picture. What do you notice? What's he doing? What is the pointing of the finger? Not even scolding and chastising. That is Masonic. No, it's when they're talking and they're making hand gestures to you. He is gesturing.